Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Papa Boris here, playing some more Krumit's Tale. This will be my last run for a long time, probably until the game is released. Like I've said before, I don't really want to do a full series on this game until it has been released, but I did want to do at least one run with each character, and now the fourth character has been released. I've been playing with Muldorf, the Necro dude, for a while now in the beta branch, but now it's been released officially. So let's go ahead and start around with him. I'm not even going to bother trying to explain his stamp. This is a very well-designed character. He's super fun, super different from the others, and his starting stamp is rather complicated, so I don't really want to talk about it abstractly. Let's go ahead and just dive into our first dungeon and explain how it works along the way. Now, you'll notice that he's got 8 health instead of the usual 10. You'll notice also that when I think about discarding a tile, it's not showing me a health bonus. So that's 2 disadvantages of this starting stamp. His maximum health is decreased by 2, and discarding tiles does not restore health. Now, unlike Mischief, this guy does not have a penalty to his starting attack value. It's still 2, so he takes the standard 3 damage for killing any of the tier 1 enemies bare naked without any help. So we can just go ahead and kill a skeleton. Now you'll notice, right away, there's the change. As Muldorf, when you kill an enemy, they don't just go off the board, they're replaced by a tombstone, and you can do 2 different things with a tombstone. You can discard it for 2 health, or you can pay 3 health in order to summon a skeleton with it. So the fact that he does not gain health from discarding tiles is not really a disadvantage because he essentially can just pitch every tombstone for 2 health. It's kind of like having the vampiric stamp at the beginning of the game. If you'll recall, the vampiric stamp makes you no longer gain health when you discard tiles, as shown here, but it gives you 2 health whenever you kill an enemy. This is actually even better than the vampiric stamp because you can leave this tombstone here until you need the health. So you can like wait, get poisoned, then come back, heal, and heal the poison. Or if you're at full health when you kill something, you can wait until you get damage, and then you get the 2 health back. So it's like he starts with an upgraded version of the vampiric stamp for the price of having -2 maximum HP. But also, he can pay 3 health to convert a tombstone into a skeleton. Now, the way that minions work is that whenever you're in combat, you can choose to either take the hit yourself and do the damage yourself, or you can click on your minion and have the minion do it for you. And the thing about this is that when you have the minion activated, you cannot activate any weapons or armor unless there's like the one item that like is a weapon and armor for the minion. You also can't activate really any abilities, although if there are like one-use abilities, you could activate them and then of course activate your minion. But that's part of what makes this such a tricky character to play, because there's so many things you could do with these minions. You can have them absorb hits for you, you can buff their health, you can buff their damage to make them into tanks, you can have a lot of minions or just focus on a few. If you're using the minions, you can't use armor and weapons, so how do you balance using armor and weapons versus using minions? There's just like a lot of complexity in the use of this character. Now, as far as starting items go, he's got the Scythe, 1 damage, 2 gold weapon, 2 uses, that has lifesteal 2. What that means is that when you hit an enemy with this thing, you heal 2 health. It's a bit interesting, you have to look at the lifesteal value. I'm not going to heal 3 health when I hit this skeleton, I'm only going to heal for 2. So the lifesteal weapons specify how much life gain you get. Notice, if I had taken that 1 damage, I would have died, but instead, my skeleton took it, so I lived. So here, we're going to just go ahead and pop this tombstone for some health. When you pop a tombstone for health, you heal for 2, and all of your minions heal for 1. Note that they heal for 1. They do not gain 1 to their max HP, so that is, of course, an important distinction. And for this skeleton, for example, I'll take 2 damage. Now I can't take any more, so I'll have my minion take the rest of it. You do have to be very careful when you play as Muldorf. He can be incredibly strong, but you also can get into hot water with Muldorf because you don't heal from discarding tiles. So if you get into a situation where your health is low and you can't kill anything, then it's like, oops, you know, you are just screwed, which is the same as with the vampiric stamp. And then if you want to use your minions, paying 3 health to get a skeleton is a non-trivial price to pay. Also, sometimes you might like forget to activate a minion and then just accidentally die. So you have to be a little bit careful when you play him on a technical level. Now you'll notice that for the first level, he's really, really strong. Quick technical note, the tombstones do not count as quote-unquote friendly tiles for the purpose of getting bonus gems at the end, but the skeletons do. So if it's possible for you to actually convert like an extra thing into a skeleton, it's worth doing. So what I'm going to do, for example, is just pick something up, and then I'm going to pick up this armor. So what this is a chainmail with only 1 durability instead of 2, and instead what it does is it decreases the cost of summoning a minion from a tombstone by 3. So if I pick this up... Oh, right, I'm out of room in my inventory. Ha! Okay, so I'm actually not going to get to cheat the system. If this had been on the board, I would have actually been able to summon a skeleton and get 5 extra gems. As it is, we're going to have to use up... we're not going to be able to have the room in the inventory to actually get another skeleton for 5 extra gems, but it's fine. So anyway, that is a pretty strong strength. Like, this guy is just very, very, very good at the first dungeon, because you heal for 2 every time you kill an enemy. You only then take like 1 net damage for killing any of the tier 1 enemies, and you can get bonus gems by summoning skeletons. Okay, let's continue. So we're going to see some stuff here. Pirate Lockbox, standard item. This is an ability I don't like. It reduces your health to 1, and it fills all the empty slots in inventory with skeletons. Personally, I prefer to play with just using a minion or 2 and buffing them up a lot. Now, of course, in this game, one thing that makes it a great game is you can't just force any strategy that you want to. You do have to play the hand that you're dealt. But I don't like using a lot of minions because it takes up inventory space, which lowers your options. Plus, setting your health to 1 can be a good thing for some weird stuff that we'll see later, but it's often not a good idea. This is a very strong thing, though. It's just 1 gold, and you raise your maximum health by 4 for destroying a tombstone. It's really, really good. It's only 1 gold. Early in the game, it's not the best. I'd rather have like a weapon here to help kill things. Muldorf has some very, very good weapons, but since I'm not offered any of that kind of thing, we'll just take the Devour for later. Okay, so we got some pretty good stuff here. Random abilities are always nice, especially early on. Note that Muldorf cannot gain health from discarding these, so it's not quite as good for him as for other characters to have random stuff in the deck. Balanced can be interesting. So these are already 2 gold. They increase the max health of your minions by 3, which I like because I like to play the minion buffing game. So I like this. This will probably stay in the deck. This is junk. I don't really want to use this very much at all, so the fact that it's 1 gold doesn't really matter. This, though, is 1 gold. So the balanced perk is not as good with him until you get some other stuff, so I don't necessarily want to go for that. Chill and Giant Slayer are both good perks. Giant Slayer, because one of the key questions you have to ask yourself is, how am I going to kill a boss? Now, with Muldorf, you might use your minions if they're buffed up significantly to kill a boss. So I'm going to grab Chill. It's just very good. You can do things like take a hit, freeze the enemy, let your minion come in, save some health on your minions, and it's just very strong in general. So we'll grab that there. Okay, so now we've got some interesting stuff. This is a pretty cool item. You just pay 2 health to gain a gold. Muldorf has a lot of health manipulation effects, which is part of what contributes to him being a fairly difficult character to play, because you can like lose health here and then use other stuff to gain health. There's an ability that swaps your health with an enemy's. So there's like a lot of stuff going on, and then this just solves all your gold problems. This is not Muldorf's best weapon, but it's a decent one. It's a 3 gold, 3 durability, 7 attack. I mean, that's just a whopping amount of damage, 9 damage. That kills just about anything at this point in the game, but the damage is reduced by 2 each time you use it, so the final hit is only a 3-hit thing. Still, it's a weapon. It deals damage. I'm going to grab it. I didn't see anything here, unfortunately, for buffing minions, which is what I'd like to see. This thing is buffed for each minion in your inventory, but I don't plan to use that many minions. I will grab this gold thing. That can be a nice thing to get. Now, let's go ahead and start getting rid of these life sips. I don't like an exhaustible thing that only deals 2 damage. Yes, it heals, but I have a healing potion for that, and there's other healing options later in the game, so I'm not going to care about these life sips. Now, I could, at this point, get rid of my other life sip and buy another thing. And I think that's actually worth doing. I'm going to get rid of this other life sip as well. And although it isn't the greatest, we're going to get this weapon. 3 gold, 3 damage, 3 durability is fine. It isn't great, but it is fine. And I think that will give some extra insurance in the early levels against just randomly getting a board full of enemies and dying. Okay, so now I'm less concerned about illustrating how things work and more concerned about just killing everything and using as few tiles as possible. So let's start just by killing a couple of skeletons. I now take 0 damage from killing a skeleton because the chill blocks the damage that he does in his second attack, and I get the 2 health back from eating the tombstone. Now, I'm not going to eat the tombstone just yet. Let's just kill the 3 that are on the board and kind of see where we're at. So I basically just got 3 free gold. The chill stamp allowed me to do this. If I didn't have the chill stamp, I would have had to eat one of the tombstones. Okay, so we have a couple different directions that we can go here now. I think one thing I'll do is I'll just take Wagyu's hand and kill one of the cultists. This level has only 2 types of enemies, the cultists and the skeletons. So the powerful stuff is what I'm going to want to use to kill the cultists with, because they're the tougher of the enemies that we see here. Okay, so now let's heal up, bring in the next skeleton, and I'll just kill it, taking only 2 damage. Okay, so again, we're focusing on using as few gems as possible. I don't know what the other 3 monsters are. I've seen 4 skeletons and only 1 cultist, so I'm guessing it's the tougher enemy that's left, the cultist. The question is, do I want to take these and use them to essentially get a free skeleton summon? Is that worth a spot in my inventory? Or would I be better off getting the scythe? Because if I get the scythe plus this weapon, that's 1 plus 5 is 6, that would let me kill a cultist. I think that's probably what I want to do. So let's eat a tombstone. Okay, still no enemies. I think I'm just going to have to eat these tombstones. There's a cultist. Okay. Yeah, I'll pay 3 health to get a skeleton, because that's 5 gems at the end. We'll get this scythe, although now I also have this. This would be a 4... Oh, I don't have the gold for that one. Right. Okay, so we'll just get the scythe. That's fine. So now what we'll do is use the Wagyu hand and the scythe together to do 8. Kill that thing and heal for 2. Okay. So now the question is really just, how do I kill these last 2 cultists without using up any resources? And I think it's going to be a little bit tricky, because I'm basically out of inventory space. Losing a skeleton to their starting attack would cost me some gems. I could actually buy this to up the skeleton's health to 7. But I think it's inevitable. I'm going to have to just, like, lose some stuff. So, yeah, I'm just probably overthinking this. This is not something that really needs to be thought about that much. Let's just pop the chest so I can buy this bone shard dagger. And then, yeah, I'll take 4 damage to one-shot this guy. The reason I'm okay with taking 4 damage is that I can now eat a tombstone. So I can just kill this other one the exact same way and not use up that dagger, because it has 3 durability on it. I should remember that I had the chill stamp. That does give extra flexibility against those cultists, because you can take 4 and then you'll deal 2, 2, 2, and it'll deal 2, 2. That's 8. Yeah, I actually didn't really need to have that weapon to kill them if I was going to take 4 damage anyway, so that's actually a mistake. I maybe could have been able to get an extra skeleton. Still, though, we had 60 bonus gems at the end. It's fine. Okay, unfortunately, we're not getting offered good stuff on these mint boxes. So, this is a pretty good healing ability. It has no limit to the lifesteal. It's the total damage of the attack is how much you heal by, and it also increases your attack by 3. This thing is really weird because there's another ability that costs 2 gold and is a recharge. It's a different kind of recharge, but it also reduces the damage dealt to the enemy to 0, but without paying 2 health, and I still don't like the skeleton party, so I'm annoyed by this. There's a good chance I'm going to end up deleting that ability anyways. Okay, so some good stuff here. Intelligent is good because we just have so many gems. We can just buy more stuff in the deck. Remember, though, stuff that pads your deck is not as good for Muldorf because you're not getting the healing for discarding cards. Poet, that would give me an extra copy of Devour if I got it from the bottom row, which isn't bad. And this, which is marginal. And if I got some way to lower these, that would be good. So that could be useful. This is obviously nice. I'm going to grab Warmonger, though, because it looks like I'm gearing up for a bit of a weapons-based game. I got the hand, I got the bone shard daggers, so let's get this, just to make the weapons deal an additional extra damage. Sometimes that is all you need. So more skeletons, got some armored skeletons, and this is the guy who just gains an armor whenever you kill another enemy in the dungeon, so it's an incentive to try to kill him early. Okay, so we got some really good stuff here. This is actually a case where I wish I'd gotten the intelligence stamp if I had known. So this weapon's not bad. It's 2 gold, 4 attack, 2 durability, and when you kill something with it, you get a Royal Tombstone. The Royal Tombstone lets you summon a better skeleton. The better skeleton, the ancient skeleton, has, I think, 6 health and 3 attack. So it's not bad, and it is a 4-attack weapon, which is solid. 5-attack for me. Actually, I don't know if this reflects... Oh, I forget if the Warmonger stamp is reflected in what you see. Let me take a look at my inventory. No, yeah, this is the original value, so it's probably 4, but plus 1 is 5. I don't know if I want another Devour. I already have one. I definitely want this, though, the Pickle Juice. It's like a healing potion, 3 uses, 2 health apiece, but it costs 1 gold, and you get back a use when an enemy dies, like for every single enemy that dies. It's insane. It's like an extra copy of the Vampiric stamp, basically, as long as you're willing to pay an inventory spot. So I'm going to get that. This is really good. So you swap your health with the health of an enemy, and the reason that's good is, you know, you can purposefully get very damaged and like swap your health with, say, a swamp monster and have that thing go from 20 health to 2, and you go up to full, and then you kill it in one shot. So this is like the Necro Dude's version of the Intimidate ability, which is Bruno ability, the warrior. 1 gold, kill an enemy that's damaged. Mischief, the rogue, has 1 gold. Kill an enemy that is not adjacent to its neighbors. This is kind of like in that same series of 1 gold, kill an enemy, but there's some, like, you know, string attached. And this thing is decent as well. So this is what I was actually talking about. You reduce the damage of the attack to 0, but instead of paying 2 health, you gain 4 health. You do have to kill 3 enemies to recharge it, but that's actually not bad. I just don't think I want it here because I'm already at my deck limit. And we've already pretty much cut a lot of chaff out of the deck. We already got rid of both life sips. So now I'm starting to cut into some things that, you know, are not as chaffy. We'll get rid of one of these armors. There's better armor to get later, and if I'm using weapons, I should be able to... And with my built-in healing and this Pickle Juice... I know it's called Pickled Monster, but I call it Pickle Juice. And the Soul Link, I should not need this really crappy 1 durability armor just to get a discount on summoning a skeleton. So yeah. And the shovel, I guess, maybe would have been the correct thing to purchase here. I could, like, take this and replace one of these scythes. Yeah, it's got to be better than a scythe. It costs the same, but deals 3 extra damage. You lose the life steal, but you gain the potential to later get a better minion. And I mean, I'm tempted for this other Devour, but I just don't have the space in my deck. So it's one of those things where if I could have seen the shop, because you can't see the shop when you're choosing your stamp. If I could have seen the shop, I would have actually grabbed the intelligent stamp for sure. Still waiting on minion buffs. I'm hoping to get ways to buff minions, because that is my favorite way to play with Muldorf. Okay, so here, I think a pretty clear path is to try to get this Wagyu's Hand, because it's, yeah, now it actually does show the increase. So it's a base attack of 7, but because of my Warmonger stamp that I just picked up, it's 8. 2 plus 8 is 10, so I actually one-shot these armored guys with it. It's just very, very strong. Well, I one-shot the first 2, and then the 3rd one I don't. But, so, okay, let's go ahead and kill a skeleton, taking a net of 0 damage in the process, if I wish to pitch the tombstone. And luckily there's another skeleton coming down the pike, so that's another free gold, which means I can get that hand of Wagyu. Now you might say, Boris, hold on, that Wagyu's Hand is like one of your only really hard-hitting weapons. Wouldn't you want to save that for the boss? And that is a fair consideration. Definitely. So I want to just use and abuse my chill stamp to kill as many of these skeletons as I can, as long as I see them coming down the pike. I want to keep killing them. I'm not too concerned, by the way, about the boss getting armor. I feel like I should be able to handle it. Although if I lose because I couldn't get through the armor, then that's on me. I don't have any piercing damage or anything. Okay. Alright, fine. We'll get these robes, and we'll pick up a free minion. That's what these do. When you pick them up, they reduce the cost of summoning a minion by 3 health. It normally costs 3 health to summon a minion from a tombstone, but instead, if you've picked this up, it makes the next one cost 0. Okay, so let's kill a skeleton. I've been very lucky, by the way. This isn't always going to happen, but it just so happens that all 3 of my first levels in this run had skeletons, and you're pretty good at killing skeletons when you are Muldorf, especially when you have the chill stamp. It would actually be better to have a weapon with the peasants, because the peasants do 1 damage first and then 2 damage second, so you actually take even less. You actually gain a health from killing them bare naked. Okay, there's the boss. It's tempting to try to kill him now before he gains armor from me killing other stuff. Yeah, maybe we'll do this. Let's pick up Wagyu's Hand. And see what this guy's deal is. What exactly does he do? He's 4-5-4-5. That's a pretty big hitter here. Okay, my skeletons can't even take a single hit from him without dying, and I can't parry this with my weak armor. So what I think may be wise is to kill one of these guys and be able to buy a Hardy Bones. I could pay 2 health to get some gold, and then I could use Soul Link. The problem with this plan is that I've run out of space if this is sitting in my inventory. So maybe I should have thought about that before I picked up Wagu's Hand. Maybe I should have been like, okay, Blood Money, Soul Link to kill these guys off, and then pick up the hand. Well, as it is, I could still do something similar. I could just use up this armor, basically. Let's see what that would look like. So I say I hit you. So you hit me for 3. Now you're frozen. Now you're gonna kill me with your next attack. But I'll let my skeleton take that. And then I'll kill you. So I'm at 3 health. It'd be nice if I could get down to 1 health. Well, I could if I blood moneyed, but then I wouldn't have room for Soul Link. Okay, so if I buy Soul Link now and I swap, this guy will have 5 total attack. Yeah, it doesn't actually work out all that well. And I don't even heal up. I heal up to 6. Yeah, maybe Soul Link is not the correct way to think about this. Perhaps I should just get the Hardy Bones to give this guy plus 3 health. We'll pop a Tombstone to heal myself for 2 and him for 1. So now he can at least take 1 hit from the boss. I've got this weapon coming in, although I don't have the money to buy it. I could blood money to get it. Let's take a quick look here. So if I just whack him for 10, let's say. Okay, and then he sleeps. Now I whack him for 8, and he gets me down to 1. And he's chilled. So now I'll use up this weapon. He does 0 damage to me thanks to my chill stamp. Now my skeleton takes this 4 damage attack. There we go. I think that was good. And I think it's good that he didn't get any more armor. I only had like 1 extra margin for killing him. Okay, now I could easily take this Soul Link and swap with a skeleton. The main issue is, do I want to do that? Because I'd be using this up and I could try to get some more bonus gems by not. Ultimately, I'm going to decide just not to care about it. So let's go ahead and swap. So now I have 6 and he has 1. We'll just take 3 damage here. Kill it. Remember, skeletons count as friendly tiles, but tombstones don't. So let's do this. And I should really consider summoning a skeleton from this. Yeah, let's do that. Let's buy the pickle juice to heal up. Pay 3 health to get a skeleton. Heal up some more. And I'm just hoping that there's a way I can kill this without having to spend any more resources. So let's let you take 3 damage. Then let's let me take 2 damage. Activate my chill stamp, and then there's no more damage that will be taken. Perfect. Okay. So that was good. That's it for our first boss, so thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe if you did. You're allowed to leave now if you wish, or if you'd like to stick around, it's time to get our end of round rewards. Okay, so we got some interesting stuff here. Nothing great, but interesting. So this is a 12 gold thing whose cost is reduced by 1 whenever you discard a tile that includes tombstones, and you get a Trash Golem. Trash Golem is really strong. It's 8 health, 3 attack, and it heals for 2 whenever you discard a tile. If you discard a tombstone, you heal 1. It heals 1 for discarding a tombstone, because all your minions heal for 1 when you discard a tombstone, and also another 2, so it heals for 3 whenever you discard a tombstone. So it's a very strong thing. This thing never ends up being as good as it looks, but it's an equipment that only your minions can equip, and it gives them +2 attack, +2 block. It just doesn't work out that well. And this thing is weird. So 4 damage to all enemies in a row, and then you heal a bunch, but it's a very, very expensive thing. We'll get this garbage golem. I really wish I could have gotten some buffing things, but it looks like this run I'm going to have to go a different route. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. This is fine. This is a new stamp. It gives you +1 base attack after taking 15 damage. Now, the obvious problem with this is that as Muldorf, if you are going to go with a minion buffing strategy, then having +1 base attack yourself is maybe not that useful. But the other stuff is all sort of mediocre, and I'm not getting a lot of stuff to buff my minions' attack, so it looks like I might have to do some of my own whacking and use minions more as, tech abilities and meat shields. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So this is a standard item, the Dragon's Gold. We've seen that before. This is interesting. It's like an upgraded version of your Scythe. Scythe is 2 gold, 2 durability, 1 damage. This thing is 2 gold, 3 durability, 1 damage, and piercing. The lifesteal is the same. So it's a strict upgrade. I'm just going to upgrade my Scythe with that. I'll just take it as a 1-for-1 upgrade purchase. And piercing is nice to have. We've already seen this weapon. We got one of these. This thing is interesting. It is 4 attack because of my Warmonger perk, and it's a way to increase max health. I think I'm actually going to grab that. And then tranquilizers. So what I always do every time I play this game is I get these tranquilizers, and then I just never use them. But it is a good insurance policy just to be able to cancel 3 attacks. Question is, what do I throw out to fit that into my deck? And I think it's a tough question to answer because I don't want to get rid of my other armor. It's the only other armor I have. I should get rid of one of these. I mean, yeah. Increasing health of minions is good, but I've got 2 of them. It's very expensive. It's 2 gold for that. I think having 1 is the correct amount. So we're going to get a tranquilizer. It's probably the wrong play. Probably the correct play is just to get another Bone Shard Dagger. But we'll get this as insurance in case we get into a hairy situation. We're going to get rid of one of these Hardy Boneses. There are things that buff minions' attacks, and you can potentially sometimes create really, really hard-hitting minions, but sadly we have not seen it. I'm actually just going to get this golden chest, and I'm simply going to treat it as a 1-for-1 upgrade versus the regular chest. Just to get an extra gold for the same thing. I have plenty of gems, so might as well. Dragon's Gold is interesting. You can argue that this is turning into a fairly expensive deck, so you could go for it, but I've already got blood money. I don't necessarily... I got blood money and pickle juice to restore health every time you kill something. Muldorf naturally restores health whenever he kills something, so I can get money with this. I don't want to have this thing which forces me to convert items into money. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like it or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.